Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Talking About Rock. I'm Rob Edwards. Well, we've been talking about this on the last couple shows, and we're so happy to bring you back our next guest. From Sin City, the entertainment capital of the world, please welcome back one of my favorite bassists and one of my favorite people, Jon Woz from fabulous Las Vegas.
Hey,
Jon,
glad to
how's
be
it going
here.
today, man?
Dude, it's great to see you. Always great to see you. Hope you've been
Great.
taking care of yourself.
Yeah. Things have been going well out here. Busy. Not it. It looks like it's hot here, but it's not as hot here as it is
Yeah.
out there for you guys.
No,
I know.
that's exactly how I feel right now is your background.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I've been playing for 3 hours out in the heat on Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights, out on concrete. So the concrete actually permeates the heat from your
Yeah.
feet after the sun sets. And then you're like, oh, okay, cool. I'll just get a fan. Well, the
Right.
fan is just a blow dryer. It
It's just
feels
blowing the
just like
hot
a
air
blow
out.
dryer. So what you have to do
Yeah.
is you have to bathe yourself in water so there's something to evaporate.
Oh, gotcha.
You
Yeah.
know,
So,
like go Ozzy every set.
yeah. So for our audience and folks that don't know, you're playing out there in local band Velvet Elvis.
Yeah, it is a cover group in Las Vegas. We've been together for like 4 or 5 years. We survived the pandemic, didn't lose a band member, which is shocking. And because of that, we were really allowed to hit the ground running when things opened back up. So I do Fremont Street on whatever stages. There's 3 stages down there. So they move us around. But my favorite part is closing out Sunday night at like 1 a.m. It really, puts a bookend on the weekend for everybody. You can feel everyone was like, okay, I had a good time, and
Yeah. So how is it out there now? I mean, after the pandemic, things are starting to return to normal. You guys are getting back the audiences and back the crowds out there. It's kind of getting back to what it was.
oh yeah, absolutely. The funniest thing was that when we reopened and people started coming to shows again, people were watching TV and they're looking at their phones, right? Like there was no face-to-face interaction.
Right.
So people are like staring at us stone faced, like, you guys are doing great. Like they weren't showing it at all. Like, can you show it with your face? Because they completely lost that aspect of the social,
Interaction
network
type of
there.
thing.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. You're amazing, but they're just like, because they're used to staring at their phones,
Yeah.
But the energy's great. You can definitely tell that this is the first summer where things are really kicking off. Yeah, I think college is going to be starting this next week or so. So you can definitely feel that there's a lot of college kids out here getting their last hurrahs in, and a lot of bachelorettes too, getting ready for their wedding. It's
Great.
always a good time out here, and
Excellent. Yeah.
it never ends. That's the thing, is it just never ends. And I'm so glad to be here.
Right. So, and you've been busy and you've had some other stuff going on too. I don't know if you want to tell some folks about that. Had some auditions out there as well.
Oh yeah. I recently auditioned for Blue Man Group. I think this is my third callback. So it was really great. It was a half hour and just went really quick. I can't really go into the details much, but it's quick and dirty. And then they spit you right back out. They don't want to waste anybody's time, including mine, which is great, because I don't like working for free either.
Right. Oh, sure. And they've had shows going on out there for, I don't know, as long as I can remember, and they
Yeah,
change it
well,
up.
yeah, actually, Blue Man Group kind of like got me when I was like 9 years old. I saw their first show in their old theater at the Luxor still. But it was just a mind blower, and I wasn't even listening to rock back then. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I was 9. I didn't pick up Led Zeppelin 2 until I was like 12. And then everything
Right.
changed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With
And then
Led
Zeppelin
Zeppelin
hit, and then
2.
yeah.
Yeah, Houses of the Holy. I picked up And Justice for All. I picked up Black Label Society, The Blessed Hellride at a garage sale. This is all like
Oh yeah.
12 to 13,
Love that
you
stuff.
know.
Yeah. Love
Yeah,
Blessed
so
Hellride, man.
yeah, and I used to skateboard a lot. I broke my femur. Basically almost died at the age of 13 because of it. And they put me back together, and I was in a wheelchair for months. And we went to Sam Goody and picked up a bass guitar. So I was on a lot of sedatives, listening to Led Zeppelin, and just sitting on my butt trying to keep up with John Paul Jones right out the gate, which is
Oh
not a
yeah.
good idea.
Wow. Yeah.
Not a good
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it's
should
like,
kind of
oh
work
yeah, I'm
your
just
way up to that a little bit, right?
yeah, no, it was just like, oh, okay, apparently you just shred the whole time is what my perception was. Because the guy, it's everything's just so well placed. You know what I mean? That he's really one of the best musicians of our time.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. And then you
Let's see
got into
what else
metal and
is
stuff.
going on.
Yeah. You got
Yeah,
into metal and that. And that really,
yeah,
really drove you for a while. I know you had a metal band that you were a part of for quite a while as well.
yeah. Typical high school band stuff. There were three friends, and two of them started playing guitar. So I, naturally picked up bass too, right around that time, and we started jamming together, going, practicing after school in someone's living room, getting the cops called on us. You know what I mean? You give them a piece of pizza so they don't come back. It's kind of how it goes. It's like, come on, you got bigger fish to fry, and he knows it too.
Right. Right. Exactly.
But that band was called Treadmill. We did pretty good. Between 2007 or graduating class of 2007 and 2009, there were a lot of musicians that came out of my high school. There's a group called Them Evils that just, it's amazing. We've got Taking Dawn coming out of there. It was interesting that, for those 2 years, like all of us really got into metal and started playing and worked off of each other. And some of us were just dumb enough to not give it up. And, and like, this is the result.
Yeah. Yeah. Not an easy task.
All this is just, like you said, hey, can we take pictures or do the video in your studio? I'm like, oh, the living room.
Sure, why not? You got your bass collection
Yeah,
there. It looks great. So
yeah.
you moved on from Treadmill, and then you kind of moved on to a band that had a little bit more of a classic type of sound when you got into St.
Yeah,
Rose out there.
yeah. St. Rose was, we were Buck Cherryin' a little bit. Treadmill was a meld between Iced Earth and Metallica. And St. Rose was, Daughtry was really big at the time. Buck Cherry was really big. I'm gonna say it. Nickelback was really big at that time. And
Yeah,
we were, like hungry kids, 19, 20 years old. Okay,
right,
what's trending, and you try to chase that. And that's a rookie move, but everyone's got to do it.
right.
So that was a great group. I got to play with some amazing guitar players. Again, guys I went to high school with. And it was a wonderful time. That band ended up breaking up because basically the guitar players got scalped, which is what happens to really good bands.
Right, right,
You'll get a following or whatever, and they're like, you know what? I think Slash wants you,
right, right. I
or
mean,
something like that.
yeah, like case in point, I was just watching the Quiet Riot Randy Rhoads documentary when they scooped,
Hmm.
Randy from Quiet Riot. With the years and years they were trying to get a record deal. Well, he was in the band, it just wasn't happening.
Yeah,
So he had to take something that came up. He wasn't even going to audition, I guess, for Ozzy. It was just like a
really.
spur of the moment type of thing. But
Yeah,
and then finally, obviously, they went back to, where did this guy come from? And then they went back
yeah,
to Quiet Riot and saw what was happening with them. But yeah, so
yeah.
that
So
definitely happens, right? There's a standout person a lot of times in the band.
or two.
Yeah,
In our case, it was just the singer, the drummer, and the bass player, and that's no band.
yeah,
So it was really cool learning experience. Those guitar players left and started touring, and I was left alone in Vegas without, my best friends and all that stuff. So I started taking some edibles and learning funk, and that was my ritual on Sundays. I was take some edibles and play funk, and it really changed everything from, okay, hard rock and all that, and basically you're playing tenor guitar with hard rock, whereas bass you're melding more, or with funk you're melding more with the kick drum. You're playing more of a percussive instrument.
And was it between that time then you met up with the guys and to form Code Red Riot with
Oh,
Cody?
that was actually, there was another band there called Play for Keeps, which
Oh,
was,
that's right.
again,
That's right. I'm sorry. Yep.
yeah, I was trying to sell out even more, so I joined this alt group called Play for Keeps. It was right down the middle.
That's
Sounded
right. I
great.
remember
We
that. Yeah.
we recorded EP at the Palms with this gentleman named Rob Katz, who's still a friend of mine today. He was the head sound engineer at the studio of the Palms for years. Again, graduating class of 2007 at the same high school. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yep.
It's really crazy how tight knit everything is. You
It's
know,
definitely
once you
all
get
about who
there.
you know for sure. Yep.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it's about, you know, staying good friends with them too. Like him
Right.
and I recently reconnected, but so we had this pro sounding album, we shopped it. A couple labels were interested and pulled the trigger. It's like okay, and then like everyone kind of got sick of each other. We tried, whatever.
Hmm.
At that time, I started doing more and more cover work in town, and I actually started playing in more of a hip hop group. I was playing a lot of rap, hip
Right.
hop, and dance music,
Just
which
to
is
get gigs out in the air. Yeah, right.
bass centric. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like it's more work than, you know, doing a Megadeth tribute. I can do that 3 days a week, and there's always a crowd. You know what I mean? Whereas
Hmm.
like Megadeth tribute, that's gonna dry up real fast.
Right. Right. Oh, sure.
Nothing against Dave, love him to
Yeah.
death.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's no. That's totally. I totally get that. There are certain bands, and other shows have talked about this. You know, they some of them tour too much. You know, some you can only see
Yeah,
like certain bands every once in a while, like Metallica. You know, they can't be coming through like every year, right?
yeah. There's got to be
Judas
some kind of
Priest, some of these bands, AC/DC, you don't want to see them
yeah,
every year. Every couple years, it's cool. They're gonna draw, you know, but
yeah.
if they got to tour every year, it's not gonna work out really that well for them.
Yeah. So, you know, after Play for Keeps, I've been trying to get signed and make it and everything. Started working more, and you've interviewed Billy Sheehan, who's one of my idols, and
Yeah,
he said
Billy's
like,
a great guy. Yeah.
yeah, he's an amazing person. There's actually a 5-string Billy Sheehan bass right there.
Nice.
Um, yeah, Billy, if you ever want to use it, it's here in Vegas, okay? Uh, he always said that, like, you know, just doing gigs is way better than practicing. It's 10 times better because you have to be on point. Your brain chemistry is the same. Your attack is going to be harder. You have to hit the instrument harder because you're competing with these other instruments,
Yeah.
you know. And it's at the point where now like playing seated feels weird because I've had so much time on stage.
Right. Now, do you
And
ever video yourself and watch your performance later and kind
I
of see what
hate it.
happened or anything like?
I
Do you do
hate
that
it
at all?
so much. No, it horrifies me.
Okay. I
I
was
hate
just
it
curious.
so I hate it
Some
so
bands do
much.
that, and some bands, you know, want to see, you know, how the show
Uh,
looks and stuff.
no, but like the cool thing is I get to do an experiment every weekend and with my persona and stuff like that. And there's just it's turning into something, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know, at a certain point there is like a disconnect. You have to decide to be an entertainer
Right.
and leave one personality away. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
definitely. Exactly. Exactly.
So,
You're a
and
different soul when
that's
you're
how
on
you bring,
stage.
yeah, and that's how you bring the noise, you know, and hype everyone up. You know, I get people. The best part about my job is that there's no like real negative. I'm not ripping anyone off. And in this economy, 9 times out of 10, when someone's making money, they're ripping somebody off
Right. Right.
in some form, some way, some skew. You know what I mean? So I'm really happy to be able to uh not do that. I guess the Buddhist part of me would be happy.
Right. And so, how many
You
shows are
know,
you usually playing? Usually playing a couple shows a week, or
yeah, we do. Typically, we'll do 3 45-minute sets a night, and sometimes we'll do doubles. So I'll play for about, you know, 4 or 6 45-minute sets in one day. So if you know if you're a band that needs a bass player, that's 1/5 of my workload that you're talking about, dude.
right.
Like I can, you know what I mean? I can nail a 45-minute show like that. I can learn it on the way there. Is kind of the idea is get your reps in, stay warm, and be next to an international airport, and whoever needs me will, you know, get me.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
Well, you got all that covered. Yeah, definitely for sure.
yeah, yeah. So by doing these cover groups, I started meeting more people in town, and there was a gentleman named Corky Gainsford that was had like basically a studio album that he had made at his house, and started sending it around, and they were like, "Oh, great, who's in your band?" And
Right. Because it was just
so
a
all the
project.
Yeah, and all of a sudden he's got to find band members. You know,
Right.
he's like, oh yeah, there's a band, we're all together. Lies, lies. You know, and turns out I lived like a block away from him. I could literally throw a stone at his house.
Yeah.
And he actually drums in Blue Man Group touring right now as
Okay.
well. So he did that for a long time. He's also an amazing songwriter. He produces great music at his house now. And it's got a really unique sound. It's aggressive. He was a BMX biker when he was a kid,
Okay.
like a professional,
Oh, pro.
level.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's always been on tour. And the thing about BMX biking is like you win based on how hard you pedal. And this guy pedals at everything that he does. He's pedaling his ass off, doesn't
Just going
matter.
that stuff full force,
Doing,
giving
yeah,
110%.
yeah, exactly. And with like he's got that like all of us, we have that nocturnal thing going on.
Yeah. And it's
Because
funny
he
you
gets,
mentioned the project thing because I was talking to a couple different bands in the last week or two, and they kind of echoed the same thing, right? They started putting something together. It was like, oh, let's just for fun. Okay, oh, it's going to be a studio project, and all of a sudden, no, let's. This is going to be a band now. I've talked to 3 different bands that it kind of erupted that way. They weren't sure what they were going to do with it. They're like, no, we want to put something behind this.
yeah, I think it's a great way to approach it. There's a lot of bands that approach things democratically, and that's a great way to get nothing done. So starting out with these are the songs, this is how you play it,
Right.
and then going there and recording the album afterward. And there's a little bit push and pull there, but it definitely helps move things along, and labels love that.
Right. You had a plan, you knew exactly what you were going to do, and you followed through and went into the studio
Yeah,
and did it.
yeah. So Code Red Riot ended up getting signed. That label got bought by Sony, and it is a subsidiary of Sony Red now. We put out one album and did some music videos, did a couple US tours. It was a great experience for me because I always wanted to do the van tour. Like I'm very lucky. I get to go do the show and sleep in my own bed every night. And doing that tour definitely helped it along.
Right.
That appreciation for that, you know what I mean? Because 15 passenger van, 4 guys, no crew.
Right.
It's just how it goes. You're either freezing or sweating when you
Right.
wake up because the van's not running because you're saving on
Yeah,
gas.
that definitely beckons back to the start of so many different bands, they starting out with and they're going touring, they just got a van, they put something together, and that's kind of happening again with a lot of acts. Unfortunately, they just don't have the money and stuff to really do anything larger than that. So
Oh, and yeah, we were really fortunate that, like between the label and the singer, like I didn't have to put anything up other than my time and, my gear, which is great. I lost a couple speakers on the way, but that was totally worth it.
gotcha.
So toured with them, and then did the album dropped and it went well. And Corky, is gonna go back to the studio. He's doing his own thing, and if he needs me, then I'm there for him. Until then, we're cool. It's just that I'm gonna let him do his thing.
Right.
Like
And
there's
that's
no you gotta trust the process.
yeah, I mean, so many artists have so many different irons in the fire. I always talk to they're not in one band anymore. They're in like 2 or 3, different
Yeah,
projects happening.
yeah.
One thing stops, another thing starts. Joel, they had to cancel the White Snakes tour, so Joel Hoekstra, hooked up with someone else and he's out, going on tour with them. But I mean, they have to have all these different moving parts. You mentioned Billy Sheehan, he's going to be coming out with Winery Dogs touring stuff
And
and
I've
Sons of
seen them. I've seen
Apollo.
them out here at Banff. There's an amazing, amazing show.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah, I really look forward to seeing that. I was asking him for dates a couple weeks ago, and he couldn't tell me yet, but I'm gonna have to hit him up again because
Yeah.
I really hope I get a chance to see him. Um, Definitely that'll be really cool. But so some of the other things that are going out there, you guys have a lot of clubs out there.
Oh
Rock is
yeah.
still happening out there in a lot of areas. I don't think people are as much of aware of that because they see all the big
Well,
production shows out there. right?
Yeah, you know, like you definitely got the Blue Man groups and the Cirque du Soleil and all that stuff, and it's available every night, and it's really disheartening for a lot of bands because like, are they gonna go see Blue Man group or are they gonna go see your local
Right,
band?
right. Well, I know one of the
So
big,
there is a dichotomy, but we got a lot of bangers coming through. Like if you're looking for rock and roll, there's no better place than Fremont Street, in my opinion. Yes, the group I play with is called Velvet Elvis, and we do like everything. We have like 7 sets of 45 minutes that we pick through. So we have everything from like Come On Feel the Noise to I don't know, some Usher. You
right.
know what
So
I
you
mean?
got a
Like
really,
it's,
really wide
yeah,
spectrum.
we can even go country if they need us to, and we've done it before. We just had Hoobastank play. Sebastian Bach just did Fremont.
Yeah, he lives out
Um,
there now.
yes, he does.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of, and a
yeah,
lot of, I was going to mention that a lot of folks have started moving out there. Geezer Butler lives
yeah.
out there now. Eddie Trunk lives out there part
I
time
think
now.
Apathy's been out here for a minute too.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's kind of odd because it's kind of switching. It was, Nashville was starting to be, really hot for rock music, and I speak to a few bands from out there, and it's not happening out there. Clubs are closing. It's really hard to get gigs out there now. So I think more stuff is starting to heat up in Vegas, as they would say.
oh
And
yeah, yeah. I mean, thank God nothing closes because you have to come out after dark. You know, you got to come out at 8 and then hang out until 4, and that's your day.
right,
8
right,
p.m. to 4 a.m. You know what I mean? And it's like 95 degrees that whole time. So that's how you'd be able to survive it.
right. And
But
and
what
you
we get,
mentioned you mentioned Fremont Street, so that's usually like open
yeah,
like shows, right? Free shows, right?
yeah, they're free shows. You just got to walk through a metal detector, no big deal. Let's see, it's why simple plan just played on 3rd Street out there. There's 3 stages out there, and they all sound amazing. They all have their own little quirks. And the crew out there is just incredible, and the how much they know. You know, I'm beginning to learn about producing
Right.
and the difference between live production and in the studio.
Yeah,
Let's
they
see,
have
like
so many different things. Like you said, you mentioned Sebastian Bach when he performed there, and they have
yeah,
all kinds of different acts out there. And that
yeah.
if folks out there haven't been there yet to the Fremont Street experience, it's really cool. It's not just live music. There's shops and there's different things going on.
There's topless nuns. There's midget Elvis. You know, I'm actually friends with the midget Elvis in town. He's an amazing person.
Right. So
Um,
that's an amazing place to check. Another place I would usually check out there would be Count Famps. They usually have a lot of different bands and acts going through there, right? That's a pretty good
yeah.
rock
Oh
club out
yeah.
there.
Yeah, I've been playing at Vamp since I was 19. You know, so you have to walk in smoking a cigarette so they don't card you, kind of thing. And what happened was well, who is it? Motley Crue singer
Vince Neil.
Vince Neil
Right.
and the guy from what's it called? Count from Count's Customs.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
I think they went like 50-50 on this place, and
Okay.
obviously Motley Crue brought in their PA. So
Right.
there's just this crazy PA in there.
Okay.
And like I saw Winery Dogs in there, and the way that Billy's bass hits you in the chest in that room is just insane
Now,
because he's got this hyper compressed deep bass. Now Vince Neil's no longer a part of it. It's just Count, and
right.
his I believe his old lady is the one that runs it, Corey, and she's a sweetheart. Actually became friends with my wife, and we've hung out with her
Nice,
quite a
nice.
bit.
And for those folks that don't know, though, so this is Count from Count's Customs from the reality TV show where he would fix and modify and do all these classic cars and stuff like that. So that's his
Yeah,
club out there.
yeah. Another club that everyone needs to know about is the Brooklyn Bowl. In my opinion, it's the best one right now. Recently, saw this show that you just saw, Black Label
Well,
Society, Hatebreed,
almost
and
saw.
Anthrax.
Oh,
Oh!
almost
What
saw.
happened? Oh,
Almost
what
saw. Oh,
happened?
you didn't hear about that. Oh my
No.
gosh. So I get there for Hatebreed and they're playing, and obviously, 80% of these people are waiting for Black Label Society, in my
Yeah.
opinion, and Zach Wild.
Yeah.
So we all get our spots, getting ready for Black Label and stuff, and then the house lights go up and they make the announcement they have to cancel the show. The stage has been damaged. I guess there was a weld on the stage or something. that had given or whatever wasn't safe
So,
enough for the band to perform, so they had to
oh
cancel the
my
rest of the show.
God.
Yeah, it was. Oh, I
Wow.
was. Everybody was just so bummed about it. It was just
What
like,
are the chances though? Like just do the math on that. 1 in 1 billion.
yeah,
Like, during the first Blue Man Group audition that I did, halfway throughout the audition, the power for the Luxor goes out. The
wow,
entire Luxor. They have generators there. Like, this isn't supposed to happen.
yeah. What
So,
was
so I
going
hung
on
out in the
there?
dark with them for an hour, and they're
Yeah,
like,
I
"Yeah,
mean,
you should probably come back."
yeah, I mean, where we were was an older venue, so I could kind of
Yeah.
see something like that happening. I'm glad no one was hurt. I'm glad the crowd, wasn't really pissed off about it. Everyone was bummed. I did some crowd reactions afterwards and stuff, and they can't wait for them to come back.
Hmm.
They refunded
Yeah.
everybody's money from point of purchase for it, but they just couldn't let it perform in an unsafe environment. I totally understand that.
No, no, I'm sure OSHA was freaking out.
Yeah.
Zach, you're a pussy. No. Uh, so at Brooklyn Bowl we were talking about, it has the same feel as like House of Blues used to have, that verve that used to be there. Um, Recently saw that show there. There's just enough room for a pit. There are EDM shows there, but like upcoming in October, we have Apocalyptica. Guar is gonna be playing there.
Wow. I haven't seen them around
Uh,
in a while.
yeah, either they do emo nights. There's just so many options, and
So
they're
so
very
much different
eclectic.
stuff. And I know there's still
Yeah,
shows going on there. So for like folks that
yeah.
don't want to go out and see like a live band, but they might still want to see like some rock music. You guys got
Well,
Rock of
yeah,
Ages at the Rio out there.
yeah, exactly. And then these guys are all pros. Like Rock of Ages, and a lot of these shows out here, they're pieces of Whitesnake and things like that.
Right. Yeah, because
Or
like for Raiding the Rock Vault, the other one that's out there, Joel Hoekstra was playing in that for a long time.
mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
you don't know
no,
who you're gonna catch at some of these shows.
yeah, you don't know what's on their resume, man. It's
Right.
it's pretty crazy. And like this amazing spot to be able to keep working after you come home. That's the best part. I don't have to worry about waiting until the next show to make money,
Right.
or
Right.
get some kind of job, because my sleep schedule is too messed up to keep a job anyway.
Well,
you
you're
know.
up all night. You might be up, a
Oh
couple
yeah.
nights, and
Well, my buddy, the producer I mentioned, Katz, he just bought a Neve board, which is the classic like soundboard it's got the mercury in it with the perfect sound and everything. It's like, that Dave Grohl kind of shit. And we're gonna pick it up tomorrow at 10 a.m. So we have to leave here at midnight. So
gotcha.
after this, I'm gonna sleep and then go drive my ass out to California and be back in 20 hours.
Right.
So also we have there's a park out there by Fremont called Container Park. It's a great family experience. I've seen a group called Metalachi there, which is a mariachi band that covers metal.
Oh,
If you
that's
haven't,
totally different. That's
it's totally awesome. I think they tour the Southwest mostly.
wow. That's very,
Um,
very different. Very different.
Very
So,
cool. And the bass player is the basis of that entire band because there's no drummer. And the bass player, I don't know if you've ever seen like that big bass that they're playing. It's actually chords. He's playing it's basically a massive ukulele that he's keeping time, thumping the kick drum as well as, getting
wow.
everything and playing chords at the same time. And he's probably the best at, I think it's called a guitar hone. So also at Container Park, we have a Ozzy Osbourne experience called Mr. Crowley coming up. Let's see.
Yeah. So
There's
many different
so
Ozzy
much
cover
stuff
bands
going
popping
on.
up. Yeah.
Yeah,
You got some other clubs out there too. So obviously you got the Hard Rock. Is there
yeah.
still a lot of performances there?
There is a Hard Rock on this strip. I'm not seeing a lot right now, to be honest with you. I do know that the Mirage was recently bought by Hard Rock, so
Oh,
that
so maybe something's happening
the
there.
Mirage is going to be a Hard Rock, and they're also
Oh,
going to build a massive Les Paul on the strip, I believe, like
oh,
that
that
glass Les
I think
Paul
is that what
hotel,
I'm seeing pictures of on the
the
internet?
the
I think I'm
glass
seeing that.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we still have the old Les Paul that you saw in Honey I Shrunk the Kid.
Mhm.
That one is in the Neon Graveyard. right now. And if anyone's in town, check out the Neon Graveyard if you can. It's absolutely amazing, the stuff that you find in there.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of cool, really cool pictures of that. All the old signage from all, from
Yeah,
classic Las Vegas times to all different stuff. Because you guys
yeah.
change stuff there so quickly, right? There might be,
Yeah,
a new club going up, they're demolishing something old all the time. It
yeah.
seems.
It used to be when the town was smaller, it would ping pong between being kid friendly and adult friendly. Like every 10 years it would kind of change. But now with the amount of real estate that they have, like they can do anything. You know what I mean? We have Circus Circus and the Cosmo, and those are completely different vibes. One's basically an arcade, and the other one's going like you're walking into a nightclub. The entire casino feels like a nightclub, you know what I mean?
Right.
If you're looking for like a really seedy divey bar to go, I would suggest going to the Sand Dollar. I think it might be on Anthony Bourdain's list or something like that. But starting at 10 p.m., they do a funk jam, and you'll see some of the best musicians in town come up and jam out freely the way that they want to, you know.
Excellent.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's like the hidden gem. So there's a Sand Dollar next to Chinatown, and there's also one at the Plaza that just opened up, which is the casino at the end of Fremont Street. It's actually on Fremont and Maine.
Okay.
It is the physical building is actually the building that they used for Biff's Casino and Back to the Future.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
very
So if
cool.
you look up at it, and it basically just says Plaza instead of Biff's.
Nice. That's
You
very
know, so
cool.
so there's a Sand Dollar there too, and they have amazing sound as well. So that's your like 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. hangout for
Right.
the musicians, because like obviously the musicians get done with work at 2 or 1. They're still awake, and that's where they go to let go.
Cool.
You
Cool.
know.
Well, man, you are busy. There's so much going on out there. That's great. I'm glad, there's still a lot of rock music happening there. Local music, original music, I hope is still happening as well.
Oh yeah, I actually just connected with a band called The Hire, and they're dropping some new music. I don't know if you remember The Hire, but they were like an early 2000s
Right. Yep.
group, and they released some dates. So if you want to check out those dates, I'm in Las Vegas and also on the West Coast. They do have some dates on the East Coast, but I will not be gigging with them on those.
Okay, cool. Well,
Yeah.
Jon, thank you so much for checking in with us, man, letting us know what's going on with you, what's going on in the Vegas area. If you folks are out there, want to check out some of those clubs, some of those shows, obviously go check out Jon and Velvet Elvis and his
You can
upcoming
always come up and
dates.
say hi. You
Right.
can always say hi.
Yeah, and his upcoming dates he's going to have with The Hire, and we're so glad we could bring him back to the show for you. It's been a while since we got to chat with you. I think we chatted with you a couple of months back, though. But thank you so much for coming back with us.
Yeah, man, I'm always here for you. Thanks.
Excellent. So if you folks out there have comments or questions for us, please feel free to email us at talkingaboutrock@gmail.com. Like us and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And as always, for this video and for others, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And for the audio, you can get all our podcasts on all the streaming services. Jon, again, thank you so much for being with us today, man.
Thanks.
Have a good day.